What's up, guys? Welcome back to the new series on the Random James channel that we're calling GEEK YAK. This is the show where we are talking about all the things in the geek world, whether that be news, discussion topics, or reviews. So this series of videos is part 2 in a series of most anticipated movies, TV shows, comics, music, you name it, of 2021. So today we are going to start out in the world of new television shows or streaming shows, whatever you want to call it in this year, that are coming out. And we're going to start each with our top 5 and then boil it down to our final 3. Here with me, I have Taylor. How are you feeling about TV in 2021?
I'm intimidated by all the movies and TV shows that are coming out. There's way too many to pick just a couple. I'm excited.
Well, luckily, you only have to pick 5. So today, we're going to go down our list of top 5 most anticipated TV shows. The 5 and the 4 will be honorable mentions, and then we'll boil it down to our top 3, and then go from there and average into a final 3. So, Taylor, what do you have for your number 5 spot in the world of TV in 2021?
Okay. So my number 5 is one that we mentioned in the previous video, something that may happen this year, may not, but it's got an anticipated release for this year. So I'm going to say it anyway. So everybody's a big fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Everyone has seen it. Everyone loves it. If you don't, you're wrong. So when HBO came out with the reunion, everyone got excited and everyone got pumped up and they watched it and nostalgia hit and all that kind of stuff. So my number 5 is actually, like I said, if it happens this year, but there is a anticipated release on the streaming service Peacock for Bel-Air. Will Smith's coming back for Bel-Air, and it's supposed to be just like the story of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's supposed to take place in modern time. So I'm excited about it, but I'm indifferent about it because I'm not sure the way that they're going to take it. And if kind of like The Office, like something we had talked about in the past, taking a time period where something like that was okay to do, and it might not be accepted in today's standard, which is weird because we really wasn't that long ago. But since people change so fast, it could go either way. So Number 5, honorable mention, Peacock streaming service is Bel-Air with Will Smith.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, that's one that I'm also cautiously optimistic about. You really don't know what you're going to get there. It's telling of a story that we're all familiar with in a completely different way, a new cast in modern day. So, like you said, yeah, things may come off differently as far as direction and the content, but I feel like if Will Smith is involved, that it could be something that he could be proud of if he's attaching himself to it. So if he's in for it, I'm going to check it out.
At least give it the opportunity, just like Suicide Squad. Okay, good example.
Right. What do you have for number 4?
Okay, number 4 is, and this was hard, okay, because I found my number 1 and immediately just shifted my complete list. So, number 4 for me is going to be The Boys. Okay. And it's only because I love The Boys. I like the comics. It's different, but it's good. It's enough to be its own individual show compared to the individuality of the comic book. But one of my favorite TV actors, Jensen Ackles, is, since Supernatural ended, is speculated to be in the season 3 of The Boys. I don't know what role he's supposed to be taking, but I'm in, because he brings just awesomeness to any role that he plays. He has ever since he went back and played Red Hood in Batman Under the Red Hood. So the fact that he's coming back to play a superhero, I'm going to give it the opportunity. So it wasn't my favorite show on the streaming services, but The Boys, definitely more anticipating for it. I am definitely more anticipated for it now than I was before realizing the season 3 was coming without him.
For sure. I haven't checked it out just yet, but I'm hearing that he's playing a wild character in the comics, for those people that are familiar. and that he's going to bring in a really interesting feature into the show that they haven't really
Right.
explored yet. So yeah, I could see how that could be honorable mention on your list.
Yes.
All right, so my number five is a show that I've been. It feels like it's been on TV for a decade, but it's only been a couple of years. But that's
Right.
only because it airs at certain times, and it's actually still on live TV, and that is the show Manifest. So if you're not familiar with Manifest, it is a really interesting show. It's set in modern day. It's kind of like Lost mixed with uh, sci-fi and things like that. But I'm anticipated for because it just wrapped season two, I think, at the beginning of last year. So they had planned on having another season coming out either late last year or early this year, but because of the pandemic, delayed production. So we may not get another season until either this spring or this fall. So I'm hoping I get to see Manifest here, but that is my number five. I'm excited about
Good
that.
choice. Good choice.
My number four is Ahsoka. So Ahsoka
Mm,
is going to be an amazing show on Disney Plus. We got a little taste of her in The Mandalorian season two. She's a great character, awesome Jedi, and yeah, I'm that's number four on my honorable mentions.
absolutely. I'm definitely excited for that one too. I'm ready for a different Star Wars with a different type of Jedi, and she's definitely it, pushing like the gray Jedi barrier. So I'm really excited to see which way they take her.
For sure. And it's supposedly supposed to connect somehow to the Mandalorian and the storytelling beyond
Hmm.
Return of the Jedi. So I think we're in for a great treat there.
Oh
Now
yeah.
getting into our top threes. Um, what is your top three? Number three.
So my number three is going to be Loki. Okay. Disney Plus streaming, Loki. Everybody knows who Loki is. Everybody knows his story. But the fact that they're taking a completely different universe's Loki and throwing him into a story that is completely his own, questions arise. Hey, what's going to happen in the main Marvel universe? Or if something's going to happen since all these multiverse movies are coming out and all that, what's going to happen with Loki? How is it going to affect Thor? How is it going to affect Jane, who's going to be the next Thor in Love and Thunder? I don't know, but I know that the trailer alone brought was very I was very excited for it because it looked like there's a lot of background to Loki, and there's a lot of new opportunity, and I'm definitely excited that they gave him his own thing because he's great. He's a great character, and he's always been a secondary character to Thor, but now in his front role, there's a lot of opportunity. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for Loki as well. It is actually my number two. Um, But I will say that just like you said, he's an awesome character in the MCU, and we're finally getting to see him shine. I believe that this will start to open up the multiverse as he jumps through different timelines and things
Hmm.
like that. As we've seen in the trailer, that this will be very interesting and kind of open up how we think about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So definitely
Right.
one to check out when that comes out. Um, my number three is a show on HBO Max called Barry. Now, this show, if you have not seen it, it is fantastic. The writing is out of this world. There are two seasons up right now, and just from what I've seen on the news uh, and just reading certain articles, they started production, writing out season three and part of season four over the past year, which they were planning on filming, but that also got delayed. So I believe that
Hmm.
they have either started production and filming at the back half of last year or at the beginning or sometime this year. So we may have a season three, and I've heard they might film them back to back if they have extra time to do season three and four, which would be very smart to do, especially with limited
Hmm.
time and in this crazy time that we're in. But to have a season three by the end of this year, I'm really hoping, and it seems to be going that direction. If you haven't checked out Barry, it's awesome. Can't go into super details about it now, but check it out. It's my number three. Taylor, what's your number two?
Good choice. Good choice. Okay, so my number two I hope you've watched it. If you haven't, you need to. It is on HBO. It's on Hulu. Rick and Morty. A show that just came out of nowhere with a crazy story, crazy characters, and without any hesitation, just clicked with everybody and has just gone to the freaking moon since it started. So uh, every episode seems to get better than the last. The stories get better. I don't think I've ever seen I don't think I've seen an episode that I didn't like, and that's kind of rare in movies, but it's or shows, but it's even better in like animated stuff. Okay, so a lot of opportunity. The creators are freaking crazy, and I love it. So I've heard that the new season is going to be filmed and released this year. I'm excited for it. 2021 is definitely looking up to be a great year for shows. So that is going to be my number 2, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty is going to be great. You are the one that actually got into it, and me and my wife have watched the entirety of it now over the quarantine, and we love it. We think it's nice. It's got a nice story. It's very clever with
Mm-hmm.
jokes. It kind of reminds
Yes.
me of Futurama in some cases, which we also love that show. So seeing another season this year would be wonderful. But my number 2 is actually Loki. So I know we've covered that, but in spoiler, I already gave that away. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but anyway, Loki is my number 2. We're both excited about that. I'm just really excited about it. I wish I had Rick and Morty on my list, but it's definitely in my top 10. So yeah, Loki's number 2, and we know why. So let's move on to your number 1.
I'm going to be honest with you. Despite everything that we've talked about today, despite everything that we're talking about coming out soon, this has the most opportunity to be one of the best shows to be released on any streaming platform ever. My number 1 is the Lord of the Rings Amazon series that is going to be potentially released this year in 2021. So everybody knows the story of Lord of the Rings. Everybody knows that happens in the Third Age. Everybody knows the story of Sauron, Frodo, Bilbo. Everyone knows all that. I'm just going to hit the mic. So they're giving us a series that takes place in the Second Age with Morgoth and the old elves of old. Are you kidding me? Lord of the Rings, Second Age, 2021 release on Amazon Prime. So expensive that HBO passed. So if they are potentially spending that much money on a show that fans have been wanting something that takes place back in the Second Age. Everybody wants the story of a young Sauron who's serving his master. Okay, so it has. Think of it this way: when we went to go see Star Wars, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Luke is now a master," and you get chills when you see a master and a student, and then Yoda pops up and freaking makes Luke Skywalker seem like a child, and you're just like, oh no, it's Yoda. It's the exact same thing with this Lord of the Rings. Okay, Sauron, the big bad. Oh no, he's been the bad of all these things, and now we got this bigger bad guy that's going to make him look like a child. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
So much opportunity, so many good actors coming over from Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen that they're just good actors that they've decided to just put them in there. They're familiar with the old style of living in Lord of the Rings because they live in the old ages in Game of Thrones. So 2021 Amazon, I hope it comes out this year. It's speculated to come out this year, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Lord of the Rings, number 1, all day, hands down.
See, that one completely. See, I've known about that. They've been working on it for years now. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like maybe at least 5 years, and we have not seen anything from it. So it
No.
completely slipped my mind as coming out this year, but does not surprise me that it's your number 1 because that's going to be epic. And the
And it's
fact
hard. It's hard.
and the
Sorry,
fact
go ahead.
and the fact that we haven't seen anything on it just goes to show that the fandom is ready for it, and we need it in 2021.
And they did it on purpose. I think they did it on purpose. When you go as far as taking a show, you don't want to mess up the story. You do the research. You go out and hire a what is it? A PhD person. I don't know his official title, but a guy that literally went and he is like he studied J.R.R. Tolkien. Like that was his college path, and they coordinate with a scholar in Tolkien. They coordinate with the son of Tolkien. They do everything that they can to get this story right. I can only hope that they're doing everything to me that I feel like they're going to do a good job with it. So I hope they do.
It seems that way. And it being a series might benefit that the movies didn't
Yes.
get to do. So that's good news
Yes.
for sure. All right. So the moment we've all been waiting for, my number one is the Book of Boba. So
A
if you
book of
haven't
Boba.
seen the in credit scene of Mandalorian season 2, um, Boba Fett is now the crime underlord of Tatooine.
Mm.
And he took over Jabba's palace, took over the entire crime, the whole crime world, and he is now going to be in charge. He's the bad bounty hunter, and he's on his throne as they tell the story of the Book of Boba. Hopefully, just off of rumors and articles that he this story might tell the story of how he got out of the Starlight Pit and where he is now. Others say that it could be talking about what he does moving forward. We're not completely sure just yet, but it is slated to come out later this year and to take place of where Mandalorian typically comes out, which I believe Mandalorian season 3 will come out next year. So this will be a good follow up to what was an amazing season of Mandalorian season 2. So that is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Absolutely deserves to be at least somewhere in everybody's top 3 list everywhere, because Boba is that secondary, like just like Loki, that secondary character that people bypass. And the moment that they give us a touch of story of Boba, the internet loses its freaking mind.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely exciting, because everybody has wanted more. Everybody has read the books that are non-canon now, but everybody has learned so much, and everybody has anticipated him so much in this last episode or these last episodes of Mandalorian. Absolutely
Oh,
top.
Boba is a bad dude. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to get to the hard part, which is narrowing it down to our final 3. So the way this works is I'll pose the question to Taylor. Taylor will pose the question to me. Do we hold or fold our top 3 selections? And by doing that, we will narrow it down to our top 3 combined list of the most anticipated TV shows of 2021. So Taylor, your 3 was?
Loki was my number 3.
My number 3 was Barry. So between Barry and Loki, what do you hold? What do you fold?
I will fold Loki to Barry, because for one thing, the story of Barry is absolutely hilarious. Okay, Loki, we've known Loki for a while. We've had him for years. Barry is this new story that is just hilarious. It's great. An assassin who wants to be an actor. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's all
I
you
mean,
need.
who would? Yeah, and you would expect anything from the actors in Saturday Night Live that come out and make a movie. I'm in, especially a show where I get more than just like an hour and a half, 2 hour, 3 hours of something.
Mhm.
No, it's absolutely great. I'll fold Loki to Barry. Yes, easily.
All right. Well, we got Barry here at number 3 on our final 3 list. All right. Moving on to number 2. My number 2 was actually Loki. Your number 2 was?
Rick and Morty was my number 2.
All right. What do you hold? What do you fold?
Okay. I love Loki. I'm excited for Loki, but to me, Rick and Morty is one of those shows that I can watch over and over and over again and not get tired at a single episode. I can watch the same episode 4 times and laugh every single time. I got to hold Rick and Morty. I've got to, because Loki is one of those that may be good, probably will be good, but I may watch it through one time and be okay with just watching it once. But I recycle Rick and Morty, so I gotta hold Rick and Morty.
All right. I think I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna fold Loki, and I'm gonna hold with Rick and Morty because you sold me on it. So number 2, surprisingly, Knocked out
Oh,
Loki for me, and we have Rick and Morty at number 2. All right. Now the hardest decision of your life again. We have my number 1 of Book of Boba and your number 1 of
Lord of the Rings. Whatever the title is going to be. We don't even know what it is. Just it's a Lord of the Rings prequel, something. Yeah.
both of these are going to be incredible, and I can't wait to see either one of them.
Look, this is going to be a hard decision, and it's only because, and hate me if you want, it's fine. I was a Lord of the Rings fan before I was a Star Wars fan. Book of Boba, I am excited for. I will watch it so many times. Lord of the Rings has been something that I've been waiting for since the original, because kind of like Star Wars, this was the third age. So they have the second age, they have the first age. They have so many characters, so much story in the Silmarillion that just I can't fold Lord of the Rings. I can't, because it's a show, not a movie. There's so much opportunity. There's so much lore. I guess I could say that. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I love Boba Fett. I read books. I've watched Star Wars. I can't fold on Lord of the Rings, my guy. I can't.
Wow. Okay, so
Holden.
we're in a little bit of predicament because although I did not think or choose Lord of the Rings, I do see where you're coming from. So I would have holded Book of Boba if you were going that way, but I think I'm going to give it to you because Lord of the Rings as a new series is going to blow people's minds, and the benefit of the doubt that, or the benefit that Boba has is we've seen him, in action. We haven't seen a trailer yet, but we know what we're getting. We saw him in season 2. We saw that post-credit scene. I guarantee you, now that you've said this, that when we get a trailer for Lord of the Rings, the TV show, the anticipation will grow. So I'm going to give that to you in our number 1, Lord of the Rings. Congratulations.
I'm doing it. Yeah. Sorry, Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett. If I could put him as number 2 and just let's shift everything down, I'd do it in a heartbeat. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that bad, it could be a tie, but I guarantee you, once that trailer comes out, the entire fandom will just
explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will be talking about Lord of the Rings. So, so just a quick recap. We had Barry at number 3. We had Rick and Morty at number 2, and then we just landed on Lord of the Rings at number 1. We did
such a wide variety of shows that
just
be combined. So, oh man, I'm good with the list. I am.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is our combined top 3 list of the most anticipated TV shows of 2021. Taylor, I'm glad that we got to do this. Can't wait for part 3. Part 3 will be talking about our most anticipated music coming out in 21. So make sure you stick around, check out that video. I'm Reese McKinney. You can follow me on social media at Reese_MCK. Follow Random Jam on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, do what all those YouTube people do. Taylor, where can people find you?
At Taylor Jackson, except for the A's or V's. It's that simple.
It's that simple. All right. Well, we'll see you in part 3. Have a great week ahead of you, wherever you might be watching this, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.